What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you can't tell, this is gonna be a special video. This is gonna be my first time riding a ZX10, which is a little emotional for me because, you know, that was the leader bike that I wanted the most. I mean, obviously back then it wasn't this generation, it was like the older one. I wanted kind of like the white one and the Nardo gray. All right, first ride of the ZX10. Whoa, this is so high up. I was saying, guys, that oh, this feels good. This bike has 310 miles. It's pretty much brand new. I already like this. I'm a Kawasaki guy in heart. Kawasaki and Ducati, those are my favorite too. If you guys can't tell from the H2, that's my all-time favorite bike. And then the V4, V4R, that's my other dream bike. I'm gonna wipe the screen, all of that when we get into the next stop. I don't think I can do it now. I'm like sweating too, it's so hot out, and I'm wearing a hoodie. But yeah, I've always wanted a ZX10. If you guys don't know, let me give you a little backstory about how I started riding. Actually, my first bike was a Ninja 300. I'm a car guy. I wasn't really into bikes, but I always thought they were cool. All right, this whole switching from GP shift to regular shift is gonna be trippy. I'm already getting so confused. This feels good. The pops. I mean, everyone knows ZX10s make a lot of power, and you really feel that. It's a big bike. I've never ridden the newer gens. I've ridden like the older gens, you know, like I think it was a 2017 or something like that. And I only rode it because I was planning on getting one. And it just didn't work out. I was like in between. I actually rode the RSV4, not the factory, like the same one I have. I rode an RSV4, I rode a ZX10 older gen, and I rode an R1, and I was like in between all of those. And actually the deal didn't work out. I ended up getting my R1M. But yeah, so let's go back to the story. I started on a Ninja 300 just because I thought bikes are cool. I wanted a bike. I didn't even know nothing about them, you know what I mean? I've ridden like dirt bikes and stuff like that when I was really young a little bit, but nothing like crazy. I wasn't like a motorcycle type of guy, you know. I loved cars and I was all about the car life. And then I got the Ninja 300, and I was like, what the hell, this like barely feels like a motorcycle. Taught myself and everything, literally like learned around in a parking lot by myself, figured it out, and then slowly started going to the streets and then onto the freeways, and you know, just put on like I think 100 miles on it, if even, like nothing. And oh, I like that setup. Lowered, nice wrap. Oh, this bike is fast. I wonder if it has a tune. I didn't ask. I'll ask when I get back and return it. But yeah, so Ninja 300, I put like 100 miles on it. I had it for like 2 weeks, if even, and then I was like, listen to those downshifts. I was like, okay, this is like not a motorcycle, you know. I need to experience a real motorcycle, because the Ninja 300 felt like almost like a bicycle with an engine for me, you know. Tops out at like probably 115, something like that. Yeah, it was not for me. I'm a taller guy, you know, so I fit funny on it too. So I had to get a real motorcycle, and I switched that bike into my ZX6. This sounds good. The pops and crackles on this bike. Yeah, so I switched it to the ZX10R. that if you guys are OGs and you guys have seen that bike on the channel, it's actually, I think, my first video with a motorcycle on the channel, which is like teaching people how to ride. Like, if you know nothing about bikes, pretty much like where I was, I'm teaching you like this, all the steps one by one. And I got the ZX10R, and I kind of like, I was obsessed. I got the bike bug, or whatever you want to call it, and I was like, oh my god, like, I can't believe that I'm on a motorcycle that costs so much less than a car, and I can have this much fun on it. That V4 looks really good. Ducatis, man. So yeah, it's, I got addicted. I was obsessed. I started liking cars less and less, and just taking my bike everywhere, literally. And after that, I was like, oh, I need me a ZX10. Almost got one many times. If you guys haven't seen, it's like the older gen 2017 white ZX10. I wanted one of those really bad, just because it was white, and I wanted to do carbon and all that. Like, you know, I had a design idea in my head, and I've always wanted one. For whatever reason, the deal didn't work out. My dream bike was always the H2, obviously, as I've said before many times. Kind of like always shopped around for H2s just in case I would find one for like a decent deal, or one that is not, you know, abused or bad. And one day I found an H2, and I just decided to send it, and that video is actually on the channel. Buying my H2, believe it or not, is on the channel. Like, that was before I took YouTube seriously. I kind of just wanted to document that experience of me buying an H2, because I was pretty young. I was 22, which is like about 2 years ago, or 21, 22, I don't know, something like that. No, yeah, a little, like 2.5 years ago. So I was 22. Power on full, traction control off. I'm just like seeing all the screen and all that, because this has a pretty interesting screen. I kind of like the older gen, like the little bar on top, the RPM bar. That, I thought that was really cool. But obviously, you know, you got to move with technology, and you know, I think they did well. This screen looks pretty good. This bike is fast. That was like quarter throttle rolling into it, and the bike was like still coming up a little bit. Again, it's not my bike, so I gotta be respectful of it. I can't go ham on the bike. But honestly, first impressions, this is like an amazing daily. Like I always said, the BMW was an amazing daily, and I don't know, I really like this one too. Now, I gotta say, the BMW does look a little bit better and more unique than Kawasaki, especially the new gens. The old gens with the asymmetrical face and all that, I wasn't a big fan of those. I like the newer ones. The new face is just too pretty. I keep losing my train of thought, because I'm like enjoying this bike and I want to ride it, but at the same time I want to tell you guys the backstory of, you know, Kawasaki and how I got into bikes and all of that. So yeah, I got the H2 videos on YouTube, and at that point I wanted to replace my ZX6R with a ZX10R as a daily, because I rode the ZX6R, that was supposed to be my daily, and I was like, in comparison to the H2, the ZX6R felt like a 250 or a 200, and that was back then before I had it tuned and everything. So I was like, that bike felt way too slow to jump back and forth in between. So I was like, I need a ZX10R as my daily. But I've always liked R1s. I always thought they look really aggressive and they sound amazing. So part of me was like, do I want to just like, you know, diversify and have like Kawasaki and R1, or do I want to be just straight up like Kawasaki guy? And then, you know, I was like, let's try something different. So I've ridden a lot of them. I still thought like the ZX9s have way more power than the R1s, like hands down. But the R1s are like different. They have a little more character because of that crossplane engine and, you know, the way they look. They're, you know, they're just a little different, which I liked. I ended up getting the R1M, and the rest is history. But that's pretty much what happened with these bikes. That's why like I didn't get a ZX10, never happened, but I've always wanted one. So and I saw the new gens. To be honest, when they first came out, I wasn't like a huge fan of them, just because I thought the old gen looked sleeker, you know. But then these started growing on me a little bit. I don't like that they tried to make it look similar to the H2. I thought the ZX10 was unique on its own, but the newer ones made it kind of look like the H2. But then I saw it in person when one of my friends had it, and I mean, I saw the front face and I was like, damn, that thing like actually looks aggressive. So when I saw it in person, definitely changed my mind a little bit. I saw like just the whole bike, like even the tail is different. Like they changed a lot more than I expected, at least from what you see in pictures. And then it definitely grew on me. But you know, I already had the H2 at that point. Like I tried the R1M and I was like, I like whoa, I can't talk right now. I like the diversity, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. And I ended up getting a Ducati, and what did I get after the Ducati? Oh, well, I got the V4S, then I crashed it, and then I got the V4R, and huh? What's that?
I need gas here.
All right, we'll try to find a gas station. Lost my train of thought again. I think it's like a pretty good daily, which I was right, you know, initially that's why I wanted it. These pops. It's like, it definitely feels like heavier than some of the other bikes, leader bikes, but at the same time, like it still like feels pretty good. It's like very flickable. The throttle response is really good. You feel the power. Like this is a powerful leader bike. It's not like the R1 or like some of the other like Japanese brands where like it's not powerful enough. This one is powerful. Oh, getting distracted by all the views. I don't know. I really like, I would compare this to the BMW M1000 or S1000. I mean, the M1000 definitely feels a little more racy, a little more aggressive, but the S1000 feels kind of similar to this. It's still like, it's very smooth, but at the same time, like it has a lot of power. And the BMW is a little more flickable, but this one definitely feels more powerful than the BMW. So I don't know, it's a very good, like, what the yeah, there is somewhat like, I see the resemblance. I could definitely like have this as my daily at some point. But I know, don't get mad guys, I know you want me to get the Honda Fireblade Triple R SP, and I want that bike too. So if I do get another bike sometime in the future, it'll probably be that. Bike, really powerful. Like this is me being like really gentle and taking it easy on the bike, because again, it doesn't have a lot of miles, it's not my own vehicle, but like just from like these little pulls, you really feel the power. It's there. He tried to get me. If he had an exhaust, I would have jumped because I didn't see him coming. But that bike is a little too quiet to jump scare me. So yeah, there you have it. This was kind of like the backstory of, you know, me wanting a ZX10 and all the bikes that I've had, and how I ended up with some of my bikes and all that. And finally, like, I don't know, it just feels so natural to me to be on a ZX10, because I feel like I've always liked Kawasaki, so it just feels right, if that makes sense. And this bike is really cool. Let me show you guys this bike again. But I mean, look at the tail, like the vents and everything about it. That front face is so mean. When I saw it for the first time in person, I was like, okay, I get it. This looks so aggressive. Like, imagine like a mirror delete 2 on it. I mean, these mirrors don't look bad at all, but imagine it just a clean white face, because it has such a nice face. And look at this, like, I like these details, like the vents right here. If that was all like, this is why I spend a lot of money, because I see this and I'm like, look at all the things I can do to it. But it's definitely similar to the H2, where it's heavy. Like, moving the V4R is a piece of cake. This one definitely got some weight to it, similar to the H2, which is interesting because while riding it, like, yeah, it didn't feel as flickable, but it didn't feel like actually like heavy, you know what I mean? It felt very like sturdy. It's like sturdy, powerful, feels really good. And a lot of fast guys ride ZX10s on the track. I don't know, now it got me thinking in the future, maybe I should consider getting one of those. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I didn't like really talk too much about it, but like, you know, I've ridden so many different bikes, and like, you know, there's so many bikes are like similar but different in their own way. And this one, the best kind of resemblance I can give you guys, that it's very similar to the BMW, where it's like, you know, very smooth, could be a very good daily, but it has the power, and at the same time I feel like it's a very sturdy bike. The BMW is a little more less power, and it's more kind of like flickable than this one, a bit lighter. But this is like, you know, a powerful monster. It's like the H2's little brother. And even with the, you know, the newer gen, they gave it the H2 badge, which at first I was bothered by, but now, you know, it's a little brother, so it's okay. Yeah, I love Kawasaki. I don't know what about them, but I mean, probably because of the whole Ninja lineup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this little review of the ZX10R, and a little backstory about me and all my bikes. If you did enjoy, please drop a like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out and ride safe.